All right, welcome everyone. This is a Viper Professional Training and Support webinar. Today's date is Wednesday, July the 20th, 2016. And the title of tonight's webinar is Breakout and Retracement Entries with the PowerMeter. And as everyone knows that's been to our webinars or our live trading rooms, everything that we say and do at Viper Trading Systems is for educational purposes only. Futures trading, Forex trading, any kind of financial instruments trading involves risk. Therefore, there's always risk of loss. You should only trade discretionary capital, and that is money that you can afford to lose. Nothing said in this webinar, other webinars we might have, our live trading room, or anything else with Viper Trading System should ever be construed as trading or investment advice. And as always, everyone does trade at their own sole discretion. Any questions on the disclaimer? If not, we're going to get started. Hey, Walter. Walter says fishing last week was great. Does everybody know what I mean by fishing before we get started? Everybody have any idea what Walter's talking about? He is talking about the fact that here at Viper Trading System, we teach people how to fish. We don't just invite you over for a, fish dinner or anything like that. We teach you to fish. Because if you can fish, you can feed yourself. Okay? So, without further ado, you should be able to see this, the website up on your screen here. And what I'm going to show real quick is, first off, for trialers that are here this week, because we've got a lot of that going on with our summer open house. And if you'll go to our webinar link, you'll be able to see really quickly that you've got some nice webinars. This is the first one I would do right here, training on all Viper indicators and object trader. Okay, that'll get you really started. That's a 2-hour webinar. And then over here, we talked about PowerMeter last Saturday. Support and resistance is a really good one. Another one on support and resistance that Charles did. Done trading, that's basically done trading in an hour, couple hours at the most. And safe trades and different ones like that, okay? And of course our members can actually get into their member area. And on the member area, they've got all the webinars updated. Matter of fact, tonight's webinar will be up 30 minutes after I close this down. This is recorded tonight, Raymond. Yes, sir. Always record these. And I'll try to get this up tomorrow so that people that are here even on trial can see it. Okay? So without further ado, let's go to a chart. And I'm going to be a little facetious tonight and ask you a question. Okay? See a chart? Can anybody trade that? Can anybody actually trade that chart right there? I would say this, that more than likely you're going to lose your shirt. Yeah, you can't do it, can you? I mean, I look at this chart and I go, oh my goodness, I see some, this is like a 5-minute chart, so naturally it broke this 5-minute here. So did you go long here and get a quick little scalp? How did you know when it was going to pull back? Here when it broke this big candle, did you know it was going to do this? You see what I mean? There's just nothing in this. It hit the Bollinger Bands up here, but it really went through them, didn't it? And then came back down, and then came back up, and then went down. And so then you throw in CCI and stochastics, and you think, well, okay, I guess I'll go get a job, because the whole thing is that I think I'm a very, very decent trade caller. I can't trade this chart. Okay, there's nothing on this chart that would make me be able to trade it. So let me show you a chart that you can trade. Now, some of you that are here tonight probably haven't seen this particular chart here, but what I do is I kind of basically, instead of looking at the entire forest, we're just going to look at an individual tree, which is a single chart. Okay, instead of just a variety of things on the chart. And it makes it a lot clearer, doesn't it? Let me just kind of draw it for you here. Let's draw this right here. Let's see, let's just draw it from here even. This is fine. Okay, well, let's draw it from here even. Now, what kind of a trend does that look like, everyone? It's going up, isn't it? Could you tell that on that other chart? That's the exact same chart in the exact same spot, and you could not tell what it was doing. But yet, with these charts, you can. Now, what I want to also talk to you about tonight is there are actually 4 trends on your chart. Hence the name of the power display, the power meter 1, 2, 3, and 4. We are monitoring 4 trends on your chart to get some of the most optimum trading opportunities that you can imagine. We've got other indicators on our charts that'll let you know also whether you're in an uptrend or a downtrend, but a lot of it's with your eyes. I mean, you know, if you can start seeing the stepping, then obviously you can see the trend, right? I mean, if you go to an apartment building and you're on the top floor and you're looking down, are you looking at an uptrend or a downtrend? If you're looking at those steps going down, 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 and so on, you're looking at a downtrend, right? You're on that top floor and you're looking at a stairwell going down. But what if you're at the bottom and looking up? You're seeing each step, and as you take each step, you get a higher level until you get to that next floor. And that's exactly what trading is. You're actually going from the floor to the next level. That next level then becomes a floor again of support. I think a lot of people know this. This is not anything more than just basic. But where do you get into a trade? That's also really important, because how deep is going to retrace? You know, are we looking for a retracement trade? Are we looking for a breakout trade? You see what I mean? And with the power meter, I think we'll be able to do some of this, okay? Because, you know, we've been able to see these 4 trends on our charts. Matter of fact, I can even draw them. Let me just draw the lightning 1. I'll draw lightning 2. And you already see lightning 3, okay? And even this, you're thinking, wow, wait a minute. I'm starting to see something, aren't I? Look at these levels of when they were resistance and then they become support. Okay, now looking at the overall trend, which is what we call the lightning 3, this swing cannot be taken out if we're going to continue going up once it's identified. Okay, and once it's identified, it's taken out the previous swing to the left. Okay, not rocket science again, right? But let's go ahead and go to a chart so we can see. We know we're in an uptrend, right? So are we going to take shorts? Not unless you want to take scalp shorts, because when you go against the trend, you're not thinking, hey, I'm going to take a short here and this is going to give me 50 ticks. It's going to give you 5, 6, 7, something like that. Okay, and we're not going to talk as much about that at all tonight. We will talk about some good retracement trades and also breakout entries using the power meter. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and take this chart down. I think everybody can clearly see what the trend was. Now this is an actual live chart, by the way, for anybody that's in here on the trial. This is a live chart. This has actually got prices on it. I just took them off so that we could kind of see the basic trees instead of the entire forest. All I did is made everything transparent, but this has actually got bars on it. Okay, you just can't see them. All right, now here's what it looks like now. And we already said, well, that looks like an uptrend. It also looks like a downtrend on the longer term move, doesn't it? But we're not as interested in this over here as we are over here. And you can clearly see that when you draw your lightning, got your high, your low, your higher high. That's exactly the same thing you saw a minute ago on this chart right here. Let me take lightning 1 off of here so you can see it a little clearer. Bear with me a second. I'll take that off. That's exactly what you're seeing is right there. Oh, okay. It stayed on the black chart. Well, I'll show you the chart with bars. Let me just go out of this one for a second. You clearly see lightning 3 though, right? Higher lows and higher highs. All right. Let's go to this chart. And isn't that the exact same thing? This is the exact spot on the chart. See the 1194.70, the 1199.10, the 1196.80, and 1200.1. That's it right there. So see what taking all that off your chart enables you to do? You can actually see what's going on this chart. Okay? So what are we looking for, team, that have been with us a long time? we're looking for little pullbacks, aren't we? We're looking for little pullbacks. So let's use the power meter and see if we can get one, okay? Let's just use the power meter and see if we can get one. We're looking for a retracement right here. I'm going to right click and put Object Trader on my chart. I do my webinars in replay so you can get the real thing, you know, where you can see. And by the way, if you've been in the room any days at all, you've heard real calls, okay? So, you know, just because we're doing this in replay doesn't mean anything, because we call these in the room live every day, okay? All right, so I put Object Trader on the chart. We're going to watch this power meter, and since we've got an uptrend, high, low, higher, high, green background, mid-band also is green, we've come right into what we call our predictor. So you want to see if we can just get a little bit of coin. Now we don't know for sure, because if this stays power meter red and it takes out this support here, let's go ahead and clarify that also, then this could become a continuation downtrend from this longer term trend. In other words, like just an ABC retracement, takes out support and heads down again. Everybody see that? That's really important to see, because if you can see that, then you're going to be able to trade these charts. Okay, any questions on that so far? Okay, because I want to show you how you can just rack up some serious coin in your account if you just simply see these things in real time. Now what I would do, since this is power meter 3 is long, okay, power meter 4 is still short, because this is obviously pretty good downtrend, isn't it? How do we know the market goes up, Chai, on your question? Well, what we do is we look at the trend. You know, the definition for a trend is an uptrend is higher highs and higher lows. A downtrend is lower highs and lower lows, okay? Now, what you're looking for is you're looking for the immediate trend, but you're also realizing that even though this is starting to head up, it isn't doing it very well yet, okay? This is support right here. I'm seeing a higher low right now so far, but this could easily crater through here. So let's just trade both sides of it. Let's go ahead and put a region box, and I'm only going to take a short if it breaks down through here. Let's go ahead and let it close plus about at least 2 ticks. That way we know for sure it's going to close below the line and 2 ticks under it. And I can just simply set it like this by hitting enter, but my trend so far is telling me up, and my medium trend is telling me up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use power meter to take the trade. Sure, I can show how to turn the lightning on and off, D, on your question. Let me just go over real quick on those features on lightning. All right. Lightning is actually 1, 2, 3, and 4 nowadays. We have a 4th lightning. That's also the power meters up here. All right. Lightning, let's go to the different ones here. Lightning 1, I've got mine kind of out of kilter here. Let me see. Lightning 1, okay, you put on by simply holding your Alt key down and clicking your left mouse button on a swing. Okay. Lightning 2, you hold the Shift key down and do the same thing. And we're doing it on different swing strengths on the different lightnings. And those are set in our template. Now, you don't have to use these. You can experiment around and you may find something better than we've got. Okay. But see, on this one, I hold the Control key down and click on a swing. And on Lightning 4 is the backspace key. Okay. So to get my lightning, all I do is I hold my Control key down, and that'll get rid of my lightning. That'll put it back up again. Okay. My Lightning 1 here, I can hold at this, for instance, and this is my little lightning right now, okay, which is kind of heading down. Now watch what happens if we break here. This will continue, but this will also change to red, and we'll know that we're heading back down. Okay, right now our power meter 3 is saying we've got a little bit of an uptrend. Our other indicators, which we've had for a good while, are also telling us that this is very possibly a change to an uptrend. This is an 85% probability trade of being accurately long because it went to the green background, went to the green midband, and it changed from the short. This is called a first time into midband after a trend change. Okay. There's also another one that is the first time into phantom after a trend change. We'll look at that also. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and start up the clock. We don't have an auto trader as of yet that'll fire this automatically, so I'm going to be watching it manually. If this breaks into my box, this is going to fire automatically because I've got my box set for short. If this fires long, I'm going to fire it manually. We are going to add another deal in here more than likely that's going to be PowerMeter and be able to actually trigger it by just simply turning it on. Okay, that may be a month or two away. I really don't know when that'll happen. Okay, so let's go ahead and watch this and see what we get. And watch PowerMeter. I'll just bring it over here so you can watch it a little bit closer. And let's see if we can get a trade here. We're going to get one way or the other. Now, normally I would already be in this trade simply because it hit my predictor. It missed this swing. That's a higher low, and I would probably already be in it with, you know, a couple of contracts at least. Okay, but let's see when PowerMeter tells us to get in. It'll be a little later than where I would have grabbed it. Okay, but it'll still be a good trade if we get it. Okay, let's watch it. We'll get this up out of the way again. Not triggering it yet, right? Not triggering it yet. Which power meter to consider for the trade? Well, Chai, on your question, what we're really looking for is a resumption of buying. Okay, if we're going to head up. Now, if we break this, we could easily head back down too. Okay, we're looking for a resumption of buying. By the way, it's right at resistance right now, right across here. Everybody sees that, right? And when you hit resistance, it can go straight through it. And we did get our power meter, by the way, changed to the upside right here. Okay. Now keep in mind though, that if you're going to be able to get this particular type of trade, your stop is going to be all the way under here. Okay. Now what I normally like to do when I see something kiss resistance, you saw me draw in the room this morning, for instance, we wanted a break and a pullback. Okay. Because like I said, I would already be in here literally when it came down to this ellipse and it didn't take this out. And I would put a stop underneath this swing in case it broke down. Okay? Let's see if we can get something on here. We've already got our power meter 1 changed. I just want a little bit of a pullback to go ahead and trigger the trade. Now, what you want to do if you want to do more of a breakout trade, what I'd probably do would be something like this. You know, buy 1 because you got your power meter. Okay? Keep in mind that it could easily come down here or even here for a retracement, but our stop is just under this swing, exit on close. Okay, that's 12 ticks on that particular one. You could even put it a little tighter than that because you pretty much expect it not to take out that swing because it's already basically identified it. See the lightning? High, low, higher, high. Lightning is trying to go up. Okay, now let's go ahead and let's see, we could actually do, watch this meter and see if we can get it. This, I picked a really slow time of the evening, it looks like. That's probably a little too fast. I'll run it at about 10 times normal speed. All right, see how they always hit resistance and then pull back? Now what I like to personally look for is I like to, when they do this, I like to then go ahead and do like a bar close to the upside. Let it try to come down and kiss support again or close to it. And click long bar close, which means that it'll fire, say, maybe another couple of contracts as long as we don't take out this swing right here. Okay, now see, we're feeling a little bit of heat. You know, $40 though, that's nothing in trading, by the way, especially You know, I mean, if you get into several contracts, obviously you could be down, you know, $200 real easily with just a few ticks. Okay, now this power meter has turned long. This one hasn't yet. Okay, you want to just wait to see if we can get that one an ad instead? We can do that. Let's turn that off. See if we can do that. Watch that second power meter and let's see if we can get it. Let's see, on a long trade breaking 1198.20, why wouldn't your stop be right below the small box at mid-band, approximately 1197.50? Well, Adam, on your question there, because I'm seeing so far, now this does have a swing right here, but when they barely identify this and hit resistance like this, I keep my stop here until they actually take this out. Now, if we put it right here, more than likely you're going to get taken out. Okay, so I like to see a little bit of movement first before I move that stop. In other words, I like to see at least a scalp. This trade could hit us. I mean, we may lose actually, let's see, 97.90 to 96.80. Well, that's 11 ticks, right? That's $110. Okay, let's just watch it and see if it loses or gains. But my stop's just under the swing, exit on close. I might even lose $150 on this one, possibly. Now, I will short it, though, if it takes this out, because this could be just nothing but a little fake up. We're going to find out. Watch your power meter. Anytime you take breakout trades, they always retrace. I mean, you can almost count on it. That's why if you do get in one, see we're down like $60, that's 6 ticks. Are you panicking yet, or you hitting close? Well, we're getting pretty close to panicking, but we're not there yet. Lightning swing is right here. It shouldn't close below it. That's 11 tick stop on it right now. Power meter 1 went to red. Okay, so that's telling us right now on the power meter that we're still retracing some. So that was a little fake on that power meter 1. That's a pretty fast one. All right, let's see if we get it again. If we get a green one, I'll add one more contract. Watch the power meter. See if we can get one. We're only down 20 bucks now. Now we're even. Gonna buy if it does. That's why I'd love to build this into a little auto. Wait for it. Without getting a higher low here even, I'd probably do a couple. We'll watch the power meter. Now, if it takes me out, I won't be getting in another one if this rolls over, so I'll just get taken out with 11 tick loss. Now, as soon as it takes out this high right here, if it does, then I'll bring my stop just under here because this would be my new lightning swing. So best to wait on power 2, not power 1. Well, it kind of depends, David, because when you get in this little sideways like this, that's why I like to buy down at predictor. So I'd already be in one here, and I'd probably have added one when the meter went green and still have felt a little heat. If we get a power meter 1 changing green, I'm going to hit a couple of contracts. Our scripts are very good, though. When they change to this green background and this green midband, it's usually a trend change. That's why it's an 85% probability trade. Notice we still haven't gotten our power meter yet. I got this going like 20 times. This is real slow time. This is around midnight, evidently. Adam, you see why you'd have to be careful putting your There you go. We got both power meters. Change to green. All right. And what do we want to do with this trade? Well, let's just go ahead and look to the left and trade to right. I like to get my targets out of the way first, and then I start thinking of where I want them to be taken. That would be a good one for the first one. Look to the left to trade the right. I see resistance right there. That would be another target right there. And then I'd let my runner run. Now, let me ask you a question. Can you see how PowerMeter could probably help you? Because it won't turn green until those swings are heading back the other direction. Okay? And a 2 swing strength is not real strong to begin with, but notice that both power meters went green the moment that closed and got us in that trade. That's why I fired that trade right there. Okay? Now, where would our stop be on this? Well, we haven't closed above this good enough for me just yet. But as soon as it does, I'm going to bring the stop right underneath here. Everybody sees why, right? Because that's going to be the new swing. I'll leave lightning on tonight for people that have not seen it. You know, basically, it's a zigzag, isn't it? It's actually zigzagging with those prices. Now, there are some algorithms built into it, too, where it gets those swings earlier than you'll actually see them just by simply counting bars, because it works better than that. Now, what I normally like to do is I like to actually even add myself, you know, a couple and then take them literally off in just like 5 or 6 ticks, because you can make some good money doing that. But I would have done it basically right here, boxing that in. Everybody see that? That's not a bad little P&L so far. And it was strictly done on this little power meter setup. I want to show you, though, when the trade gives up the ghost, PowerMeter will also catch that. And let's go ahead and just see if we can get, I've got this running 500 times. This is slow time of night. There we go. Okay, we're still in. We would bring our stop where? Well, right underneath that swing. Right? Now watch PowerMeter. See where power meters went down? Now I got it going too fast to catch that. But you see where that went green again? You could literally be back in this trade again. Now this would have stopped me out, okay, because I saw this happen, but I had it moving 500 times. That's where I would have taken my stop to. Everybody knows that that's traded with us. But this is also the re-entry when this actually started taking out this little swing here with the lightning. So let's just go ahead and add a couple of more. And see if we can get some more movement on it. That's 3 in totally, okay? But power meter 1 is green, power meter 2 is red, power meter 3 and 4 are green, so we diagnosed it properly, didn't we? Low, high, higher, low, higher, high. We did that at the start of the webinar. Okay, so we knew that we were in an uptrend. Okay, and then PowerMeter just assured us that we basically boxed it in, didn't we? That's pretty much what we did. Now let me show you something that you can actually do with PowerMeter 2 if you don't want to just go with the close of the bar. All right, let's say Lightning 1 to give an example. You want to do a 4 range and 1 strength. That's literally just going to be zigzagging with those bars. You can also choose your close ticks, okay? If you wanted it to close more than just the bar itself, you can actually add some ticks to that. So for instance, if I would have added, say, 3 ticks even to it, we wouldn't have got that little fake right there where it went green on the 1, but it didn't go green on the number 2 yet, okay? So you can control it the way you want it. It's not black box. You'll be able to adjust it the way you want. Now, let me ask you a quick question, though. Let's just pretend you're not even in this trade. You get up at 2 o'clock in the morning and you see this going on right here. That's telling you you're in an uptrend. okay, I would do this. I would box it in. Hopefully we can get it in time. You're looking for longs basically, aren't you? I'd probably box this somewhere down in here, although it's already hit close enough to that. There's a swing right there. That's already hit that. So I'd probably box it in more than likely across here. Everybody see why? Looking to the left to trade the right. And then I would do that. So let's see if we can get in a trade. And watch PowerMeter 2 also, because we'll more than likely get a PowerMeter 2 going up. Now see, notice that I just simply closed that trade out. You didn't have to do that though, because we just got in it, didn't we? I just wanted to show you how you can utilize this even if you get up in the morning and you see this thing and you're thinking, okay, that's telling me my trend is up. I'm just looking for those little retracements to get in a trade. Okay, and then boxing them in. See, there's our long right there. I only have the one set. Let's do another one if it does a bar close to the upside. Look at all 4 PowerMeters are long now. Can I show how to take off contracts? Absolutely. With Object Trader, you can do that really easily too. Let me just show you. We're in 3 right now, right? Let's go ahead and turn on all the targets, and I'm just going to go ahead and add like 3. Well, that's 9. We might not want 9. But anyway, let's leave them on there for a second. I'll show you how to peel them off. You can get your targets out of the way if you want to even. Let's say that I just want to get rid of 3 if a bar closes down. I can do that. See, 3, bar closed down, we'll get rid of 3 contracts. I can also do it with Sniper. Let's say that I wanted to get rid of 3 more if it takes out this swing. This is my lightning swing, so it shouldn't take it out. Okay, now I don't advocate doing 9 contracts, by the way, but I hit market and we had a trade triggered up here with Object Trader. Okay. Let's see. So we got out of 3, right? Because the bar closed down. All right. Now, what if I wanted to take 3 more off if it closes below this swing? I could use Sniper, get my stop out of the way. I don't even care about my stop because I can actually take contracts off. I could put one right here. Something like this. Touches below my swing. Go ahead and take, say, 5 off if I wanted to even. And then activate my Sniper by turning that on. And that would short 5 contracts, which would mean I would be in only 1 left. So you can take them off like that. You can also take them off with simply the market orders. You know, we're long 6. You want to take 2 off, just hit sell. It'll get rid of 2. Okay, you want to add 2 more, you just simply hit buy. That's a market order button. The bar close button is to add, like, let's say I wanted to add 2 with long enabled. See, it just added, so I've got a total of 8. Okay, and my Sniper, by the way, I can keep moving up and still have that turned on with Sniper. Let's say I wanted to get rid of, say, 4 contracts if it happens to take out that swing, and just turn it on. And then that'll take 4 of my contracts off if it happens to pull my lightning swing out. And then I could put my stop underneath this area, like right here, because that's my lightning swing, with exit on close. Now, does anybody in the room not know what exit on close is, by the way? Exit on close is one of the coolest things you could have on a strategy. You don't have to just have it just barely touch your, you ever notice that? You have your stop set, you're a little nervous about it, and what do? They wick it, and then they just pop it right back up. And even if you're quick enough to hit the market order, you're going to probably get 5 or 6 ticks the direction you were hoping to go to begin with. And then you've also got a broker fee. So the beauty of the exit on close is this has to actually close below that line right there for it to take it out. The sniper's function, Steve, is simply a horizontal line, and with all the object trader, and it'll be difficult to go into everything that object trader will do, so I'm going to recommend that 2-hour video because I go over every feature of object trader: region, ray, bar close, time trade, and sniper. And these are just different trades that object trader is able to take. Okay, you can even take, for instance, let me show you another one. I'm going to get these targets out of the way. Looks like a pretty good run, doesn't it? I could even take off with trend lines. I like to get a little pullback first so I can tell I've got a trend line. You know, this is your trend line right now. I don't like that one. That's a little too basically loose of a trend line. I want something more like this possibly. And by the way, line 6 does a beautiful job of that too. See line 6 right here? Wow, that's a heck of a trade, wasn't it? Did we diagnose that chart right or what? We definitely did, didn't we? You want to see another way to take some contracts off or even close the trade out totally? You can use what we call the ray trade. Click Insert. Got plenty of time to work with your ray. I'm going to go ahead and get these stops out of the way. I'll use the ray to get out of the trade. But we got to get a little pullback first. Always got to have some kind of pullback before you can draw a ray. Everybody knows that, right? Unless you want to just take it out literally on the bar close, and that would be the second bar down. But you could miss out on 20 ticks. That's a little pullback, isn't it? Let's see if we can pop it back up. That's a pretty good ray if this actually doesn't go ahead and go all the way down to here. I'll show you how to use that ray. We're in 8. Now you wouldn't necessarily stay in 8 and let it take 12 ticks from you because that's a lot of money. You could actually thin it out by simply just taking bar close or just simply watch this bar. If this third bar closes down, I'll go ahead and sell 4 contracts. I can do that manually. Okay. Since it went up, I could activate my ray, couldn't I? So I turn on my ray. I say, okay, hit ray. If it shorts below that line with a touch plus, say, 2, that would be that red line right there. If it touches that line, it'll fire 4 contracts off, or I could even do all 8 of them off if I wanted to. See there? Now this may take me out. This is a pretty tight ray. And by the way, the beauty of the ray trade is you can also move the ray in real time if I can get to it. Doesn't look like I'm going to get to it. Turn it back on. Move the ray in real time. Can I get to that line? This is one thing that we're going to be working on right here is getting this where you can activate that center line. I can't get to the center line. We're still in it though, see it? But I can't drag this one. You can only drag the center line. And for some reason with that touch plus 2, it's not letting me. Now I've got a center line. See, I can do that with it. I can even take it out right there. I can put it here. I can move it in real time. Yeah, I did get stopped because it touched that red line. Okay? Now what if I wanted to, you know what? If it breaks that little swing right there, you want to try it? Let's turn it on and see if we can get a, why are you going to, there we go. All right. And then I'm going to turn short off because we're long only. Let's see if we can get a trade. I can even move this in real time if I want to. There you go. Just nailed you another trade. Now, if this happened and you're already thrusting like this, I'd highly recommend putting your stop underneath that swing. Exit on close. See, we've got lots of tools with Object Trader. We don't even go over a lot of them simply because there's quite a bit in it, and that's why we do the webinars. Let's see, are we going to make the Ninja Ray active to do away with this one? Yes. And that'll more than likely happen within the next, well, we've got to get Ninja 8 ready. We're still working on some of that. I'm not worried much about Ninja 8 because truthfully, you know, all of the indicators and different things like that, we don't use to begin with. We just use this system and it'll be the same. But we will get it to Ninja 8. But see, that's a nice feature too. This is your ray. And of course, to get rid of it, you can just hit insert. It'll go back to off like that. All right. I can even do a bar close type trade. You know, if this closes to the upside. See, I can do long entry, long enabled, that is, bar close. Estimated date for Ninja 8, probably not. They haven't even gotten out of beta yet, so we're not in a real hurry on it. Now, obviously, what we want to do with this, we want to look for retracements. You get into certain times where they break these lightning swings. You know, like this one I wouldn't short. This one I probably would. You see what I mean? Because so far, isn't lightning heading up? See there? Every single thing is heading up. So if it quits heading up, could I actually get ready to short it? Well, you certainly can with this PowerMeter because I'll show you how it'll work. We're going to take a trade if we happen to get a thrust again and we take out lightning. Now, I don't know if this thing went up because I wasn't up at 4 o'clock in the morning, but if it happens to keep going up, it'll finally retrace. There's no question about that. See, we got in on a bar close right there. Mainly because lightning's heading up. Now, that's a risky trade, by the way, because we didn't come anywhere near mid-band. So my stop's going to be under that swing. That's my lightning swing. That's my identified lightning swing. They can't take it out if they're going to head up. Now, if they're through with this, then obviously they could take me out. This is my lightning swing. What if I do this? Reverse that. PowerMeter 1 and 2 just went red. I'm in the red on that one. Maybe this is all the run. It just broke lightning. Still okay so far. Just tested it. Tested this one actually almost. We're still okay. We're still long. Closes below that line. And you think, whoa, wait a minute, you're right near mid-band. Yeah, but you're breaking lightning. And that's a huge move up. So let me ask you a question. If it retraces, wouldn't you expect it to at least go to here? So I'd probably put a couple of targets there. Maybe even one for a runner. And then I'd bring my stop with lightning. All trades retrace. Now, when you'll know if this turns into a downtrend is when you get PowerMeter 3, and it looks like it may be a downtrend. Let's find out. Let me get rid of the okay, so far we got lightning, thrust down, retrace thrust. All right, if you miss a trade like this is actually coming into a phantom right now, but it's taken out phantom. If you weren't in this trade right now, I would wait for a retrace, and I'll tell you right where it's going to be. You want to try it and see? That's also a high energy time right there. That we see your PowerMeter 1 just went. Now, when I see red background, even though that PowerMeter 3 is still green, this is a trend change. See it? Magenta, mid-band. So what are we looking for? Well, we're looking for this trade. Want to take it? Oh, that was quick. I took it though. See it? Hit right where I said it would. And that was that monster that we got on TF. You remember it? Everybody remember it? We got this trade right in through here. Remember? Where it had support. Now, if you miss some of that trade, what is your goal that you have to do? You've got to literally wait on the indicator. Okay, let me show you a trade that's setting up as we speak. And let's watch it in real time and see if it gives us a little heads up. I got this going like 10 times. I'll turn it to about 7 times. Okay, power meter 1 is green. Well, we didn't get our power meter, but I hit my ellipse. See, that one took it out here. They both went red. Let's see if we can stay in this trade. Stop's going to be right here. Everybody sees that, right? Okay, where's our stop now? Lightning. Exit on close. It's hitting an ellipse. That's our predictor. That's telling us to take some coin there. So I've got 2 contracts on. I'm going to take one of them off. If they don't take out this low, yeah, I'm going to buy one. See, that's a little double bottom. And now we're just riding one. Now let me ask you a quick question. Does anybody see the next trade on this chart though, as we're speaking? Because it's on your chart. Okay, let's go ahead and close this out. Power meter 1 and 2 are green. I'm going to turn this down so we can see if we can get the trade. We're going to short it if it takes out. Yeah, mid-band trade is a good one, but you remember some mid-band trades just don't work out because they go higher? Okay, here's your swing right here. So they can't go any higher than this if they're going to continue heading down, right? Okay, let's watch power meter instead of just taking this right at the mid-band rollover. Let's see if we can get that. Because this could literally just keep heading up. We don't know. Power meter 1 and 2 are saying it's a little uptrend right now. Power meter 3 says it's a downtrend. Power meter 4 says it's a downtrend. So we're looking for a retracement. See if we can get one. Now if it hits that line and even starts to roll, I'm going to short it manually. And I'll just go ahead and do like 1 contract just to dip the toe. And if it rolls over with power meter, I'm going to do 3 and I'll just simply hit sell, sell, sell. And it'll do target 1, 2, and 3. That's good enough for me. You should get a lower high. All right, now I'm going to get this out of the way. Barely wicking it so far. Taking it out a little bit though, isn't it? It's okay. This is what happens when you just think it's going to stop. Now watch power meter and see. It's even changing power meter 3, but it's barely taking it out. So let's see what happens. This is why when you do take it just based on where you think it's going to hit its head, it doesn't necessarily do it. Now back that up. Let's take this off and let's try to do it instead with power meter and see if we can get a decent trade. Now if it takes us out with a vengeance, if we start doing this, I think anybody can clearly see, if we do this and then this, that's taking out this major swing, medium swing, right? So we'll be looking for longs. But right now, this is just a deeper probe trade. And this is the ones that'll get a lot of people. Because if you just fire market orders, you may end up getting a retracement that goes all the way up in a V-shaped retracement. But this power meter, I'll tell you, this will more than likely get you in the trade at the proper time. Let's watch it in real time and see. That's why we built these market orders into Object Trader. You don't have to use all this up here if you don't want to. Now this looks like to me it's going to go choppy, so what I'm going to do with 3 contracts, I'm only going to go for, because it's a little indecisive. See, it's taken out power 3. It's below the line again, which means it's more than likely going to short. All it did is basically wicked it with a larger bar. But let's watch and see what PowerMeter says. Now keep in mind, you're thinking, well, wait a minute, these PowerMeters are green, but it's because it took out this swing. Okay, that's exactly the reason that it changed there. So what I'm looking for instead is I've got a huge downtrend going, red, and I'm looking for a deep probe. And if this turns red, I'm going to go ahead and short 3. And the better it does this little thrust retrace, the better these work. Because the only time that these meters will not work is when bars just go straight up or straight down. Do you still have the right click to set a trade up on your list of things to add? It's already on there, Kenneth, which you can use. Object Trader actually has, sell stop, to give an example. I can put that on there. But I'd like to, when I finally get Object Trader finished, what I really think will be finished is when you'll be able to do a ray trade, a box trade, right click, add contracts trade, add with bar close or anything you want, even at the same time. Only if you're not in a trade. Yeah, you don't want to use Object Trader here and then use that feature. That's correct. Okay, we're going to fire this if it gives us a red. Now remember, we're only looking for long if it takes out this resistance, comes back and kisses it. There we go. PowerMeter 1 just went red. I'm going to try to go for right here. Got 2 contracts left. Actually, I got 3 left, sorry. All right, PowerMeter 1 is red. You think, uh-oh, is this going to go the other way? Maybe. Maybe. We'll find out. PowerMeter 2 goes, I'm going to add 1 more. See how they always double check? Most always you're going to get these double tops like this. See how I just had to test that again? PowerMeter 2 goes red. I'm going to go ahead and short 1 more. But we're going to take quick profit because this looks like it's going to chop to me for a bit. So far it's still heading down. We're feeling a little heat though. There's your sec, but that was too much of a shot down. Everybody remember this trade that I called in the room this morning? Yeah, I remember this one. Everybody remember it? I called it on that bar right there. Remember in the room? We called it on that bar right there. That was a monster nice little trade too. And remember I was saying in real time, we got a higher low. Look what it did actually. Thrust, retrace, thrust. Last gasp. It held support and off she went. All 3 PowerMeters are green. Where would our stop be? Wait for it. Good enough. Right underneath there with exit on close. It's a monster way to trade, I'll tell you. I think you'll enjoy trading this little system. This was actually trades that were called in the room this morning too on the charts using these tools, and also years of experience of seeing these trades in real time too. Remember, mentioned even earlier in the room that had held a higher low. And PowerMeter was kind of telling us that they weren't going to go a whole lot lower, wasn't it? And here's another thing that you can look for. Doesn't mean you can't take another short like we did, but when you see Lightning 3 taken out like we saw over here, let me get this meter out of the way. All right, notice this lightning right here. That's your Lightning 3. See how they kept trying to take it out? That's signifying to you that you're getting a high that's higher than the swing. Sometimes, though, they just barely wick them like that and then they roll over. But then if they get a higher level of support, you can pretty much take that trade right there, and that's the one we took in the room this morning. Boom, off she went. And when Charles and I talk about tight stops versus looser stops, everybody knows what we're doing, right? Lightning swings is what I like to personally do. See where your lightning swing is right here? It's right under there. Soon to be under here. See there? And you can lag it back a little bit, like line 6 is what I like to use a lot of times. And then if you look and see, whoa, wait a minute, there's a little support here too, drag it down a little bit. See, because I just lost that trade because it's coming down a little bit deeper. I also called that trade right there in the room this morning. Remember it? And we got us a nice little trade again. That was also that double bottom, so I was anticipating a trend. Absolutely. Yeah, that was that major double bottom that we had talked about. Remember, I had the line drawn on the chart? We even said in the room this morning when we got down to 1194.70 and it got to 90. So, and double bottoms, by the way, there's times you can actually just go ahead and wait for a little thrust, little pullback, and start getting ready for those trend changes because they happen all the time. Now, let me ask you a quick question, though. What if you didn't get in this and this is just a monster runaway? What do you think you have to do? Anybody? Wait for the pullback. That's right. Okay? By the way, let's just pretend you're not in this and you walked in the room and you said, "Oh my goodness, look at this. This has gone nuts." You know, are you going to chase it? Watch what happens a lot of times if you chase it. Let's just go ahead and do like 3 or 4 thinking, "Wow, this is going to the moon." What happens a lot of times? Well, you may get your target and you may not. Well, we did get that. That's chasing a trade, by the way. Where's the smartest trade? Wait for the little ellipse to draw. It draws in real time. PowerMeter is red. And you're thinking, wow, that's red already? That's because that's a very quick little meter right there. That's looking at those 4 range bars. All right? But where do you think that, oh, look at there, just what popped up. Okay, let's diagnose this trade like we did in the room this morning. So you'll be able to see on your own charts tomorrow. High, low, higher high. Cannot take that out if it's going to continue up, right? Because it wouldn't be a stair step to the upside. So then we do, okay, well, our ellipse is saying right in here, so let's just get ready to trade this when it hits the ellipse. But what if it goes lower? And that's what happens a lot of times. So if it goes lower, I could be catching a falling knife. Okay, so let's use PowerMeter instead. We may get a little bit later, but a little bit wiser. Okay, because for instance, if it breaks this swing right here, then basically you're starting to break a pretty decent swing. Okay, predictor is saying it should hit its head right here. Let's just do like 1 there and see what kind of grief we have, if we have any grief. I just hit 1 because it hit the ellipse. All right, I'm going to get this out of the way. I don't care. If we get stopped out, I'll kill it. All right, but see, I'm feeling grief. See there? Because I just went, oh, and then I'm feeling a little bit more grief. You see what I mean? PowerMeter never told me to get in. See if we can get in with PowerMeter. I'm going to slow that down a little bit so we can actually get this trade. PowerMeter still red. I'll run it about 4 times speed, and we'll get ready to take it. Now, see, we're feeling heat if you just jump in for the fun of it. And you are taking out that little swing right there just a tad. That's where you should have bought it right there. Okay? But watch PowerMeter and see if you can't get a pretty decent spot too. PowerMeter just went green. I'm going to at least go to that top, aren't I? Anytime you get these yellow bar probes after about 9:15 or so, you're looking for these tops. Okay, just look for it to hit the predictor, to give an example. That's good enough for a trade, by the way. It's just right there at that predictor. I'm fine with that. You can always leave a runner on, right? Okay. Everybody see how that might make a difference in your trading? You're thinking, uh-oh, well, wait a minute, it's back red again. Yeah, it actually is. So is this a little fake? We're going to find out. It's sitting on top of a floor. See it right there? It busted up. It's checking it. This is not where I get nervous right here because it's holding support. If I was getting ready to take this trade, I'd do this right here. I'd have my finger on the trigger and I'd buy it. See how it popped up above the line? And we'll just take it up here at the top. And it looks like it's saying that it would go to this ellipse right here. See how well that works? Now what if you missed out on this trade entirely here? You just simply look for a thrust and a retrace, right? I think it is too, Doug. I agree with you. Doug says, I think you're getting really close to an auto trading system. Well, you know, the one thing about that, and you're absolutely right, because this is actually looking at 4 trends. This isn't just any little breakout trader or something like that. We could get the programmer to look at this and look at certain criteria and get some of these trades and have some algorithms built into it also. Now, when they start getting sideways like this, I just look for tops, okay, and then I wait for retracements. So your top is right here, and they're also saying that you could go up here, fade it a little bit. Anytime they start going sideways like this, what happens? They test the top, okay? Stop would be right under here. Program the conditions in Bloodhound. You could definitely do that. I think this is going to be a pretty powerful little tool for us all. And let's just, because we have to wrap, it's 8:04, but let's just watch and see if everybody can catch the next trade on here. There's your thrust up, right? Pretty monstrous move, by the way. And you should have, we would have kept our runner on, obviously, because our stop was under here, but I was talking. So naturally, we're missing out on some of the rest of this. But you don't have to, you know, do anything more than just take your money either. Because what do you think is going to happen after a thrust? Well, let's see. PowerMeter is green. PowerMeter's red. Got a swing right there that they shouldn't take out, right? You got a swing right here that they could check. Check. And you got a predictor saying, wait a minute, Gary, it looks like the trade is right in through here. And I would even draw it at mid-band. Let's see if we can take that one. Right there. We'll find out. Power meter is still red. Now, I wouldn't take it if it turns green right here because that's not enough profit target. Got to get a pullback, and you need to get a little ABC. If you do this one, if it turns green, you'll definitely be chasing it. There we go. Got a little lightning down. Power meter is still red. Now, I would probably take this trade, truthfully, though, without power meter, simply because you've got a swing here they cannot take out, because that would be your step of your floor, right, that we talked about earlier. So anywhere between these two lines, I would jump on that trade. But power meter might say, well, don't do that just yet. But keep in mind that that's going to be a little later than when sometimes you just see the trade, because that ellipse right there is telling me that this trade is right here between these two lines. See if it is, we'll find out. Now you got your green meter. I don't like it there. That was too close to that top, but we'll take it. I got it going at like 40 times. And we still got a decent trade. Power meter is red. We got one on. Let's put our stop just underneath here for our one, and I'll add one if we get a power meter to the upside. Well, that's right on the money on that ellipse. That's perfect entry. That's good enough for me. Now, power meter won't turn for a second, but I can tell you that it will turn if we don't get taken out, that is. Got taken out of that one. Let's do it with power meter instead then. See if we can get it. Like I say, I've got this going a little faster, so I'm going to have to be fairly quick at grabbing the trade. There it is right there. Let's just go for a scalp, because we're going to go ahead and wrap. Think that might make you a little bit of money? I think it could. Now, do you think it should, look at that. It shouldn't come down any further than that swing right there. See it? Because that's what they do, is they bust up and then they come right down and they check those lightning swings. And even when they're going sideways, they still check them. So if you wanted to be lay back just a little bit, just put it under the more major swing right there. Okay? All right. I hope y'all enjoy that new indicator, and we'll trade it in the room tomorrow. All right? And I think the settings that we've got it set at are truthfully probably pretty good to begin with. But if you want to play around with some settings, if anybody comes up with better, let us know, because we're all in it to make cash trading, right? Absolutely. Where's your next trade on the chart, somebody asked? Watch for the predictor. Be careful of double tops and things too. You know, there's a predictor setting up right there, isn't it? See if that gets a few ticks. I would have already gotten it. Power meter. Let's see if power meter gets it. Oh, I want to show you one other thing before I wrap, because I think I see something else that's happening on the chart. Let's get rid of all this, and I'll show you a background that we developed also for this, if you want to use it. Lightning 3 background, turn it on, display, make sure it's set at about, oh, say 25 for the gradient, should be fine, and turn off your background for Object Trader, and then click it. And let's see, this has gone through 1, 2, 3, 4 stages. That trend's almost over. Everybody see why? Because it's had a lot of thrusts and retraces. So the way our software is working, it's actually looking at that. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to be shorting yet, because where's our short on this chart? Well, you're kind of wanting to hold this area right through here. And with this being just barely ratcheting up, that should actually hold. All right. Can I show 1 through 4 settings briefly? Absolutely, LG, on your question. Do you already have the power meter on your chart? Okay, let me show you. And I've got a template that's exactly set up correctly. But let's go to Lightning 1 first. I simply use a 4-range chart, 1 swing strength. On my Lightning 2, I use a 4-range chart, 2 swing strength. Just a quick thrust retrace. On my 3, I use a 4-range 15 strength. And on my 4, which we're not really as concerned about because this is your long-term trend, I use a 12-range chart. All right, and the settings on it will pop right up with your template too. You know, this is awful close to what we called in the room today. Everybody see how you can see that chart so much easier than, I think I got rid of that other chart, darn it. That's all right. I was going to show you the other chart and see if you could have seen these same trades, but that's good. The gradient, Dave, is where this is actually looking first for the trend change. Remember when this actually started changing trends, when that changed to 3 back in here when it took out these swings? Remember, that was kind of giving us a heads up, but it still didn't mean that we couldn't short resistance. See how it came down? But then it started actually popping up. And remember where I called that trade in the room this morning? Right there on that bar. Could have even gotten on that bar and still done quite well, but I just felt it. You know, it was more of a feeling, but obviously when it took out this swing, it was heading up. But that gradient literally looks at these thrusts and pullbacks. And the more thrusts and pullbacks it gets, the darker they get. If you change it to even a darker color, you'll see it even clearer. Like if I put this on like 40 to give an example, it's pretty dark. See there? 25 is good. I think even 40 is okay, but I don't like it as much on the red one. I'll show you why. That's not bad though. See, it went through some same thing. Light, dark, a lot darker, changed. Light, lighter, or light, darker, darker, changed. Light, darker, 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 maybe a change. All right, we'll do it tomorrow in the room. I hope you enjoy this, and I really hope you get a lot of use out of this little indicator because it was designed for us all to use. Which indicator is which one, Adam? Oh, that's your Lightning 3, but what we've done with Lightning 3 and all the Lightning indicators, they're different than they used to be because I added the box colors to them, the trend line colors, remember they're all on there? And then you've got your gradient multiplier. And I keep my display box really nice and bright so that it'll show through the colors on here. Because if you take this down, to give an example, let's say I put that on like 20 instead, this is going to be a really light box. And you'll have to get a bar to close, unfortunately, for it to get that. Let me see if I can get it. As soon as we get a bar closed, we'll get that. There we go. See how light that is? And if you put it on different colors, see what it does? That's why I like the gradient on the box just to simply be, you know, nice and bright. Because if you move this around, you might think that that's actually a downtrend when it's actually an uptrend. See what I mean? So I like my display box to be nice and bright. Hence the 1000 on the opacity of it. And that gets it as bright as it can get. Okay, thanks everyone for coming. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the morning. This will be available in about probably 35 minutes or so, just as soon as it converts. Thanks everyone. Have a great evening. I think we only lost on like one trade on this tonight, didn't we? Not too bad. Bye everyone. Thanks.